Yeah, man. Greetings, Rastafari, Haile, Emperor the King Selassie the first, the perfect balance, Empress Menin. This is first man from Rastafari Indigenous Village, recognizing, accepting, promoting Lion Voice. Yes, the voice of Rastafari, speaking about Rastafari, educating Rastafari, preserving, protecting Rastafari. Give thanks.
Aye, Rastafari, mighty.
Amina, the time has come for the lioness to tell our own story. No surrender, no retreat, we are Jaja soldier. Rougher than the streets, tougher than a boulder. Bigging up Lion's voice. Now put it, I jolly for say that.
Haile Selassie, one of the symbolic measures that was taken at the coronation when he invited the world into Ethiopia. All of these, particularly European foreign nationals coming into Ethiopia, one of the things that His Majesty did was unveil a statue, a famous statue that still stands in Ethiopia to today of Emperor Menelik atop a horse, commemorating Adwa, the victory over European imperialism. So Emperor Menelik to I and I as Rastafari, you cannot take that place because His Majesty himself, at the moment of his coronation, chooses to, acknowledge the contribution of Menelik in such a magnificent fashion before the world. So this shows I and I that it's a lesson to be learned, and Menelik is also a seminal character in the development of a young LIDJ or a young Dejazmatch Tafari, because he had attained the title of Dejazmatch by the time he gets to spend any significant time with Menelik. And we're going to talk about that today on this episode. So get your ital snacks, put yourself together, let us reason about Emperor Menelik II.
The year is 1892, and the land of Ethiopia has been experiencing 4 years of terrible famine and drought. They call it the Kikuken, or the evil days. At least 1/3 of the human population and 90% of the cattle have died. The hyenas have feasted on so many carcasses that they have become overweight and barely able to move. Just when the people could take no more of the evil days, a woman named Wasiro Yeshimabet is giving birth in a place called Ergersa Gora. This is her 9th attempt to bring forth new life. Her previous 8 attempts only resulted in death. Will this child live? Thankfully, a healthy baby boy is born. His first cries are drowned by thunder and lightning flashes across the night sky. The heavens open up and torrential rain starts to fall. Ethiopia's drought is over, and the baby boy is given the name Tafari, meaning one to be feared or respected. LIDJ Tafari's father, Ras Tafari, is a very important man in 1892 Ethiopia. Although he is overjoyed at the birth of his newborn son, he cannot spend much time with him. Ras Tafari is the governor of Harar and must get back to the famous walled city to deal with its affairs. Furthermore, he is the foreign minister of Ethiopia, and having traveled to different places in Europe, he is very aware of the material and military advances they have made and the looming threats they pose to his country. Ras Tafari knows that the majority of Ethiopians have no idea what is coming, and that he has to work that much harder to secure the realm. LIDJ Tafari would grow up to become the legendary emperor, Haile Selassie I. To understand his journey, we must first understand the Ethiopia that he was inheriting and what it was like when he was born in 1892. Get your copy of Kwesi Bansu's book, Haile Selassie I, Ethiopia, Volume 1, The Rise of the Priestly Warrior Kings, and increase your knowledge about the history, politics, and culture of Ethiopia in 1892, and how it connects to the rest of African and world history at the time. Haile Selassie I, Ethiopia, Volume 1 is available for purchase at www.bookmanexpress.pub. Please visit for more information.
Big up all of the Lion Pride. Big up everyone who has been supporting the journey. If this is your first time on the platform, welcome. We are experiencing some tremendous growth, over 600 subscribers in the last 28 days. We have reached 800 pieces of content that have been uploaded on the platform, over 175,000 views over the lifetime of the channel. We couldn't do any of it without the item. So big up yourself before we go any further. Big up the item self. It's been a humbling journey. Today's topic, we continue. Last strong, we talked about Marcus Garvey. It was Marcus Garvey, Earthlight, Emperor Menelik, Earthlight, Empress Taitu, Earthlight, Emperor Zariakop. And I didn't mention Empress Taitu, Earthstrong. She shared the same Earthstrong. So we're going to have to do an episode about Empress Taitu. But this is not that episode. This episode, we're going to talk about Emperor Menelik, born Haile, married. And same that we did first strong, we're going to look at his relationship with His Majesty, because this shows, you know, a one character to eye in terms of how they related to the Most High physical when he was there, you know, different points. And the Majesty is meeting these ones at different points in the journey. So I think it's fascinating to examine these great men in the light of their interactions with His Majesty, and then also look at what are the lessons to be learned from these great iconic pan-africanists. Because Menelik, again, another great pan-africanist. You can't mention the African story and you don't talk about Menelik the second. His glory is up there. Controversial in the modern era with the rise of particularly the tribalism in Ethiopia, and then also, to be fair, overstanding of the story of the expansion of the Solomonic dynasty in Ethiopia, having sensitivity around the realities of war and conquest in that era. You know, you have to be circumspect when we look at all of these. But, you know, on the big picture, I think it's impossible to take away the glory of Emperor Menelik. And Haile Selassie, one of the symbolic measures that was taken at the coronation when he invited the world into Ethiopia. All of these, particularly European foreign nationals coming into Ethiopia, one of the things that His Majesty did was unveil a statue, a famous statue that still stands in Ethiopia to today, of Emperor Menelik atop a horse, commemorating Adwa, the victory over European imperialism. So Emperor Menelik, to I and I as Rastafari, you cannot take that place, because His Majesty himself, at the moment of his coronation, chooses to, you know, acknowledge the contribution of Menelik in such a magnificent fashion before the world. So this shows I and I that it's a lesson to be learned. And Menelik is also a seminal character in the development of a young LIDJ or a young Dejazmatch Tafari, because he had attained the title of Dejazmatch by the time he gets to spend any significant time with Menelik. And we're going to talk about that today on this episode. So get your ital snacks, put yourself together, let us reason about Emperor Menelik II. What a joy. We're going to read a passage also from Haile Selassie, Ethiopia. If you have not purchased the book, purchase the book. It is making waves. It's been released. We're coming up on the 3-year anniversary of the release of the book. Time is flying, but it seemed like the book is just starting to soak in. And big up Dirty Bookman. We knew it was going to take time because people are not reading at the same rate, but as people read, they recommend. We're getting the comments, so please continue to send in the comments and pictures of yourself with the book as well, so that we can use it to spread the word. But we're going to read an excerpt because we give the history of Emperor Menelik II in the book. It's an epic story, and you cannot tell His Majesty's story without laying the groundwork with one of the priestly warrior kings that preceded him, which is Emperor Menelik II. So we definitely discuss that in the book. All right, so let us start off with a passage from the book, and then from there we can continue. So, Haile Selassie, Ethiopia, Volume 1, Rise of the Priestly Warrior Kings, and we are going to read from the chapter about Emperor Menelik and the birth and the rise. This is blockbuster film quality story and storytelling.
So Haile Mariam was born in the town of Ankaber, where he spent his early childhood, 8,500 feet above sea level, in the clean, crisp air. He was no stranger to war. Ankaber itself was originally inhabited by Ethiopia's Oromo people, who migrated to the region following the reign of Imam Amhadagran, until it was conquered by Haile Mariam's Shoan ancestor, the fearsome commander Amha Iyasus. Mary Dejazmatch Amha's wars with the Oromo population between Debre Berhan and Ankaber meant that Shoa developed as a relatively advanced military society by Ethiopian standards. Despite its tragic and bloody beginnings prior to the evil days, Ankaber, the Shoan capital, was a pleasant place by most accounts. At Haile Mariam's birth, his father was joyous at having a male heir, prospering that his son would replace him as king of Shoa, and enjoyed a glorious reign. He also married the child's mother so as to legitimize the birth. There is much disagreement about the origins of Haile Mariam's mother, but it is thought that she was of humble birth and worked in a nation where genealogies for nobility are kept with a biblical accuracy. It was difficult for scholars to find information about her background. So Haile Mariam would indeed ascend to the throne with a name that would justify the faith of Haile Menelik. However, it would be some time before that name became synonymous with the glory of modern Ethiopia. The Captive Prince. In 1855 CE, robbed of the normal joys of childhood, 11-year-old Haile Mariam lost his father, and he was taken prisoner by the mighty Emperor Tewodros II. He would spend the next stage of his life captive in a mountain fortress of Magdala in Walla, 12,000 feet above sea level. It was at Magdala where he learned the art of governance. As he became a man, he was surrounded by all the intrigues of a royal court. Studying all he saw intently. Though captive along with the sons of other Ethiopian nobles, he was treated like a son by Emperor Tewodros II, once stating, "Although he killed my father and took me to his court, he always loved me as a son. He educated me with the greatest care and almost showed for me greater affection than for his own son." So Haile Mariam more than once stated that I would rule after him. The emperor not only gave him the title of Dejazmatch, but he also gave him the hand of his daughter in marriage. Despite receiving such good treatment, and also sharing in the emperor's vision of fully united Ethiopia, Dejazmatch Tafari was a proud Shoan. He viewed himself first and foremost as the heir to the throne of Shoa. Thus, when the opportunity presented itself, with the help of a Muslim queen of Walla, he made his escape in 1865. The loss of Dejazmatch Tafari enraged Emperor Tewodros II. In response to the assistance provided by the Walla Muslim queen, he had her son and his associates who were captive hacked to pieces in front of him. He also had some of the Amhara dignitaries beaten to death with bamboo rods. Despite the rage, in the security breach. His deep affection for Sahali Miriam and his uncle, who remained behind, prevented him from retaliating against them. The emperor's continued bloodlust caused many members of his powerful army to desert. Some of them joined Dejazmatch Tafari, helping to strengthen him as the newly established ruler of Shoa. Plus, having murdered the young Muslim prince from Walla, he further alienated a powerful enemy and gave his former captive a powerful ally. The word of his brutality as an emperor spread throughout the countryside, in the same manner as the legend of his good deeds towards the poor spread as an outlaw.
Mighty. What a joy. I am the Reading Ras, and I wrote a book. So give thanks for all those who support the works as I continue. So.
Well, for unto us a son was born and a child was given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders, and his name shall be called the Wonderful Counselor, Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Them call him LIDJ Tafari. When he was born, rain fall from the sky. Them call him LIDJ Tafari. When he was grown in airplanes he fly. They call him LIDJ Tafari. The lion break the chain, weep not, don't cry. Them call him LIDJ Tafari. Read the Revelation chapter 5 verse 5. Then born near the city of Harar, the inspiration for Bob Marley's guitar. People crowd him like some big superstar. It no matter if England or Cote d'Ivoire, no matter if you're brown or black like Qatar. Haile, Selassie, Sefi and all tribal war. A time fi gather Mount Zion, fi drive solar car from the car straight to Zanzibar. Who we are, the sons of LIDJ Tafari. When he was born, rain fall from the sky. LIDJ Tafari. When he was grown in airplanes he fly. Then LIDJ Tafari. The lion break the chain, weep not, don't cry. Then LIDJ Tafari. Read the Revelation chapter 5 verse 5. Royal governor from the age of 13 years. Leave the palace, fi go back in a school with him peers. He's the head without fear, he's one to be revered. When them call his name, then the heathen scare. Plus the priest concerned, and him teachers concerned. Cause all this little youth want fi do is just learn. But he wait his turn, till him turn the Dejazmatch. The people rejoice when they crown as the Ras they call him LIDJ Tafari. When he was born, rain fall from the sky. Then LIDJ Tafari. When he was grown in airplanes he fly. Then LIDJ Tafari. The lion break the chain, weep not, don't cry. Then LIDJ Tafari. Read your Revelation chapter 5 verse 5. Well, Ras Makonnen call a meeting with all him general them. Say him funeral a come and him have something fi tell them. Him say, we fight together since the days of Adwa. Him say, protect my son and help him unite Africa. Well, him generals, them start cry when them hear this sound. Them say your wishes are come and then bow down to the ground. When him funeral they come, it shock the whole town. If you see this little youth, him have a army surround. They call him